It is a common held belief that the pain of infidelity never really goes away, that the relationship or the marriage can't truly recover from infidelity, and that the person will do it over and over again. The Bible verse I want us to use today is in Hebrews 13 verse 4. God will judge the adulterer and sexually immoral. Hello everyone, welcome back to Ifechi family. In my last video, I promised that in my next one, we're going to start talking about raising up children, but something happened recently that I needed to talk about. That's why I'm doing this video to share this unfortunate incident with us regarding a lady who actually lost her life recently. It's a very sad story of something that happened in Calabar Cross River State of Nigeria, where a lady or a wife was tipped off by another person that her husband was with another lady somewhere, either in a hotel or whatever, and then she decided to react instead of respond. What did she do? She jumped into her car and she was racing to that place to go and probably, deal with the lady or confront the lady. Or in the process, she lost control of the car and she had a really nasty accident and she lost her life. The unfortunate thing there as well is that I understand that they have young children. This kind of unfortunate incident can actually be avoided if, when we hear certain things, we have to choose to respond and not to react. And because when you hear something and you react immediately, you are likely to react inappropriately. But it would have been better if the woman had said to the person in question who told her, and maybe ask some questions like, okay, where did you say that you saw them? Okay, and then you note that down. And what was the lady he was with like? And they will describe her. You note that down, and then you leave it until your spouse comes back home. Your husband comes back home. In this situation, obviously, it's the husband comes back home. Then you can just do with what you normally do, and after, you can now sit down and ask him some questions about what you heard. Because in some circumstances, it may even be that the person they were with may not even be anything, maybe a colleague, maybe a business associate, it might be anything. Although on this occasion, for this lady to have told the other lady means that she knew that there was something going on in that relationship or in that marriage. That's why she did that. And then going back to the person that tipped off the other lady, how will you now forgive yourself that you did this? That was not the right thing to do. It would have been better for you not to tell this lady immediately what you saw. You may just leave it, and later on there may be a way you can be discussing and you can chip something in that may make her to maybe start asking some questions and start discussing things with her husband, or even leave it at all, and they be praying for them if you really mean well. Because for you to tell that lady what you saw, it shows that you don't really have that marriage. You don't have the interest of that marriage in your heart. So the best thing would not have been what that lady did. Or if it was a lady, I assume it was a fellow lady that did that, to tip off and to tell the tales. That was not a good thing to do. Please, ladies, please, gentlemen, anybody, do not tell tales about marriage, about spouses. If you notice anything like that, pray for them or find a better way to say something, maybe to counsel them or to help them out or to advise them, but not to do what this person did. And this has now caused somebody to lose their life. It's not good. There are so many other instances. There's one I heard as well. There was one that I heard that the person actually did not lose her life, but she is now crippled for the rest of her life because she also had an accident while she was going to confront another woman that she heard her husband was with. Please, let us always respond and avoid reacting, because if we react when we are angry, we are going to regret it. Well, if the person is alive, on this occasion this person is not even alive to regret anything. Now, what the ways I think that this situation should be handled, some of the ways I think that this kind of situation can be handled is that you always pray. Pray before you get married. Pray while you're in the marriage. Pray when you notice everything going wrong. Pray about it, talk about it, discuss about it. Don't shove anything under the carpet. Prayer should be the key. And if you notice anything that is happening in your marriage, talk about it on time. And if you yourself, as the other spouse, is not doing what you should do as a married person, please change yourself as well, because that might also help in situations like this. The next thing I want us to also look into is, before you say I do, that you're set to marry somebody, I will assume that you have made your background checks. Probably you have courted. Even if you have not courted, you must have known one or two things about the person that you intend to marry. And also, where you met that person is very important, and how you met the person, because that will tell you, is this type of person that will not be satisfied with one woman? Is this the type of person that will always go out no matter what the situation is? Always make your checks first before you say I do. The next thing I want us to consider is that marriage rarely changes anybody. When you notice anything during courtship, when you are, before you say I do, and there's something that person is doing, you can say the person is going to change. Oh, once we get married, they're going to change. They're doing this now because we are just courting. Once we marry, they will change. You are making a big mistake. Marriage rarely changes anybody. Whatever that person was doing when you were courting, the person is likely to continue. So as I say, so where you met and how you met is very important, so that you know that is that type of person that is always looking around. Very, very important that you know the type of person you're marrying. And obviously, prayer all the way. Next thing I want us to consider is that we have to learn to control our emotions. We should learn to control our emotions and not let our emotions control us. Before we act, let us think. Let us learn to control our emotions, because if we don't, it will lead us into so many problems in marriage. And also in other types of relationship with other people around, or your interaction with people. We have to learn to control our emotions. And also during that time you're courting, it's not a time for you to be jumping into bed. It's time for you to be interviewing that person, to be talking to that person, to know the type of person they are. But some people are carried away by this so-called love, that they are ready to jump into bed and they think that is love.